I experienced the biggest shock of my life that evening. 20 years of marriage, 2 beautiful children, and years of happiness. Or so I thought. That day, I came home early, unaware that everything was about to change. When I entered her room and saw the determination on my wife's face, the words got caught in my throat. Was this just a weekend getaway, or was it betrayal that would shake the very foundations of my life? At the time of these events, my wife, Lori, and I had just celebrated our 20th wedding anniversary. We met during college and got married right after graduation. We had 2 beautiful daughters, Kelly and Erin. Kelly had just started college, and Erin was about to graduate high school. 6 weeks earlier, we had dropped Kelly off at a state university. Erin was considering attending the same school. Like typical siblings, the girls often argued, but their bond was undeniable. Kelly's departure had left a significant void in our home. Though we were happy to see her embark on new adventures, the change affected Lori deeply. I had noticed her becoming distant in recent weeks, but I hadn't questioned it much. That Friday, I left work early. Erin was spending the weekend at a school camp, which meant it would be just Lori and me at home. I planned to take the opportunity to rekindle our relationship with a romantic dinner. Perhaps I had sensed that something wasn't quite right, but instead of confronting it, I chose to try and fix things. When I arrived home, I saw Lori's car in the garage, meaning she had also left work early. I walked inside and headed to our bedroom. "Honey, I'm home," I called out. "Yes, I'm here," she replied. When I entered the room, I found her doing her makeup. She was wearing the black dress I had given her last Christmas and an elegant pearl necklace. Beside her was an open suitcase, into which she was packing a few clothes. At that moment, everything froze. My heart raced. Lori's preparations were not for the romantic weekend I had envisioned. The truth was about to hit me like shattered glass. "Are we going somewhere?" I asked hesitantly. "You didn't tell me, but I can get ready quickly." "Where are we going?" The excitement in my voice would soon vanish completely upon hearing the truth. Lori lowered her eyes and spoke slowly. "Bill, I'm sorry, but I have a date this weekend. I wasn't planning on telling you, but since you came home early, I need to explain." A date? The word echoed in my mind. How could date and marriage coexist in the same sentence? Was this a joke? I had never been so shocked in my life. "A date? What do you mean? We're not in an open marriage. Lori, how could you do this?" Her voice was calm yet resolute. "Bill, it's just a weekend. I've been feeling lost ever since Kelly left. This is like therapy for me. I'm going to reevaluate everything this weekend, and I'll come back on Monday morning as the same Lori. Nothing will change." Her words sent a chill through me. "Lori, this is madness. How long have you been seeing this man? Who is he? Are you cheating on me?" "No," she replied quickly. "This is an affair. We just had a few lunch meetings. That's all. This is a fling, a one-time thing. He's married and has children too. I don't want to hurt our relationship. It's just this weekend. Please try to understand." The word understand ignited all the anger inside me. How could anyone ask such a thing from their spouse? Worse, how could they justify it? "So you believe being with another man will somehow strengthen our marriage?" She answered with the same determination. "Yes, I need to feel young, beautiful, and alive again. It's a need. I want you to give me this weekend as a gift and try to understand me. I'll come back Monday morning as if nothing happened. I promise." At that moment, I was convinced that the woman standing in front of me was not the Lori I had been married to for years. It felt as though a stranger had taken her place. I couldn't find a logical response or form coherent words. Taking a deep breath, I said, "If you're determined to go through with this weekend plan, that's your choice. But know that you have the chance to change your mind. You have until your Uber arrives to think it over. Before you leave, I want you to keep your phone on. This is purely for your safety, nothing else." Lori thought for a moment before nodding. "Okay," she said, "but promise me you won't follow me or try to ruin my plans." I promised, but inside, a storm was raging. Lori's betrayal would change our lives forever, and I had already planned my first step in this transformation. As Lori packed her bag and waited for her Uber, I sat silently, wrestling with conflicting emotions. I wanted desperately to stop her, but I also didn't want to demean myself. When the Uber arrived, she dragged her suitcase to the car without looking back, and then she was gone. The moment Lori left, I grabbed my phone. A new chapter in my life was about to begin. I thought of someone who had once touched my heart, but whom I had never pursued out of loyalty to Lori. Sarah. It was time to call her. "Hi, Sarah, it's Bill," I said. My voice trembled, but I was determined. Sarah's warm voice took me back to the past. "Bill, it's been years. I've wondered how you were doing," she said. I briefly explained my situation. I told her about Lori's decision to spend the weekend with another man and that I could no longer continue this marriage. Sarah was silent for a moment before gently asking, "What do you want to do, Bill?" "Sarah, I made you a promise," I said, "that if my marriage ever ended, I would call you, and now here I am. I'd like to spend this evening with you. I just need to talk." Without hesitation, Sarah agreed. I went to her house, and she greeted me at the door with a big smile. Her warmth and understanding eased the chaos inside me. That night, we talked for hours about Lori's betrayal, my feelings, and the bond Sarah and I had once shared but never pursued. As the conversation progressed, I realized something I had suppressed for years. I didn't just want one night with Sarah. I wanted a lifetime with her. I spent the weekend with Sarah, emotionally and physically. I felt more complete than I had in years. I realized that Lori leaving that evening had actually been my liberation. On Sunday, when Lori returned home, there was a glow in her eyes. She walked in confidently and said, "See? Nothing's changed. I came back as the same Lori." But Lori didn't know that everything had changed. That weekend had been a turning point for me. Even if I wanted to believe I still loved her, my heart rejected the idea. I listened to her in silence, processing her words as if I were taking notes in my mind. Finally, I spoke without hesitation. "Lori, this weekend made me realize that our marriage is over. I'm not saying I won't forgive you, but I can't continue this relationship. Tomorrow, I'm starting the divorce process." The look of relief on Lori's face quickly turned to fear and shock. In that moment, she realized her betrayal wasn't just a weekend fling. It had changed everything forever. She cried and pleaded, but my decision was final.